First of all, thank you for talking with us.
No problem, guys.
I'd like to ask you, could you surmise the last couple of years of your life in a couple of sentences for us before this life-changing event happened to you?
You know, like, it's a long story, so I hope you have some time.
We do, all the time in the world.
Well, first off, you know, I graduated high school. You know, it was a happy moment. You know, you started off and you're, like, looking towards your future. But that time didn't come for me. The first few months were alright. But then, you know, you start to step into the workforce and you just, so many turndowns of jobs and, you know, you're not getting the college classes you want.
After the war, Ian hit a time of great and seemingly unending depression, where his life was just one black spot after another. He turned to drugs. He turned to alcohol. His life would become a blemish to society.
I just went down the wrong road. You know, the drugs, the alcohol. And Holmes, I'm so sick. Hey, what are you doing with that camera?
No.
Wait, get off that camera.
Get off the camera!
It pretty much took over at least a year and a half of my life right there. Towards the last part, at least the last 6 months out of the 2 years, this hat I'm wearing, I was approached by a Korean in a parking lot actually, and he was at vending, you know, the vending of hats, and
yes.
He looked me in the eye and said some Korean gibberish I didn't understand at first, like, no offense to the Korean viewers, but he handed me this hat, and it says 2002, welcome to Korea. And he said, make something new for yourself.
Contemplating suicide, ending his life when his drug problem came that one fateful night.
Oh, son, you needed to take this hat and start on yourself a new life.
And then he plopped the hat on my head and just walked away, and I've never seen him again. You know, I was, at that point in my life, I was just heading the wrong road. I needed to heed his advice. And that's pretty much how I started the road to recovery.
Now that you've started this road to recovery, what major changes have you noticed in your life?
Well, as you can see from the other clips in the video, I had some drinking problems. You know, the drinking and the drugs, unfortunately, took over a lot of my life. And
so you're noticing a liberation from those?
Yes, you know, it's a whole new person. You get to start over, and it's kind of depressing to see what you were before you changed, you know? You know, I finally complete, you know, my road to success and, you know, beating the drugs and stuff, but I've had a little trouble, and I turned to my two supposed best friends, and guys, you're two of the closest friends I've ever had, and even with the Korean hat, I'm still having a rough time with my life. What do you guys think I should do?
Well, you know, I've been your friend for many years. You know, I was there with you in the war. So many. But I'm here now, and I've seen what has plagued you, and my only advice to you is to turn to drugs and alcohol and prostitutes. Bury the pain.
I've beaten the
drug. Do it. Do it, or my friend.
I haven't beaten the...
Shut up and do it.
Look, the drugs and
Nothing in your life is important.
Okay!
Good.
But, wait, no. I worked against that. I told you the
Nothing-
story of the Korean guy.
You know, the Korean guy? I don't care about the Korean guy.
Well,
The Korean guy can go screw himself for all I can.
you guys encouraged me to follow what the Korean
Change
guy
our
said.
mind.
So after all this
We hunted
time,
down the Korean guy and we beat him up in an hour.
after all this time, you guys are just flip-flopping sides.
Prostitutes, Ian. Prostitutes.
I don't want prostitutes.
The Korean can't give you the love.
It doesn't matter. He gave me the inspiration to do better, and I can't believe you guys are just changing sides like this.
Are you gonna turn to drug and alcohol?
Yes.
Good.
And they try to tell me to go back down that road. I just do not get it. They told me to turn to prostitution, alcohol, and drugs. Mainly prostitution with Austin, because that's just all he's obsessed with. And I just don't understand it sometimes. They were totally with me for doing the good, you know? And every single time I consult them, they just encourage me to do the bad things and flood it with pelvic thrusts, and I just do not know where to go from there. It's just distracting, you know?
Well, Ian just came to us for advice, and we told him to revert back to all his old problems. And we hate him. He is so screwed, man. He thinks he's so better than us now. He sucks. I hate that sucker. Ian!
How you doing?
We're just telling Canvas how much we love you, and we are so happy to see
Well, I'm
that
glad, but
eventually
you know, the advice you guys gave me isn't working.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should smoke lots and lots and lots of so much
I don't
pot
think
that,
you're doing
that you're blind.
I don't think you're doing enough.
Guys, I'm gonna go do something.
Oh yeah. This is my crotch.
And as soon as you change, you know, it's an automatic optimism. It just floods, you know, like your soul, kind of. And as soon as that takes over, you know, you just got to keep going. Like, the road that you once left, you can't look back. You just got to keep going down the optimistic road.
The key is to stay motivated and just look towards one goal. And that goal is success.
If you could say something to the Korean man who gave you this hat right now, what would you say to him?
What would I say to the Korean? Well, you know, first off, I'd like to say thank you to him. If you're watching, Mr. Korean guy who made me this hat, and I just like to say your craftsmanship is not even matched, and your inspiration to me has been like no other. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for changing the mold from which I was created, you know, from the bad part to the good Ian. And that's about it.
Well, we thank you, Ian, and we wish you many happy recoveries.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Stay strong and battle his drug and alcohol problem. Ian turned to weightlifting and exercise. But he will always remember who originally gave him strength, and he will always be thankful for that one Korean and that special hat. A life was changed. This is the story of Ian Howard.
You can't see me. It's completely aimed at my crotch.
Keep going.
Don't tell anyone. Video diary number 2. I got sick of Austin just bullshit that I had a pimp kill Austin, and don't ask me how. Jeff is now in an alley, covered in rat pheromones and cheese. That'll teach them.